Hey, you made it back for day 2, so awesome. Welcome back. Just like yesterday, there's going to be a action guide down at the bottom. So go ahead and you can download that. And then there's a spot, it has a lot of fill in the blanks. So we're going to talk about those. There's a spot at the bottom to take notes, so you may actually want to start there because we'll get into all this personal daily action in a minute. But we're going to talk about a couple of things. The first thing we're going to talk about is a little bit more theoretical about social media, just about how it works. Is people talk about this thing called the algorithm all the time, like it's this big, scary, mysterious thing. An algorithm, by definition, is a calculation, right? So as long as you know the pieces and you know how they work together, you can get the outcome, right? 2 plus 2 is 4. That's a calculation. That's an algorithm, right? That doesn't mean it's big and bad and scary because we call it an algorithm. It's a really simple thing. And the social media algorithms are actually really, really simple things once we take a step back and look at what's happening. So what is the goal of Facebook? They like for us to think that it's the goal of spending time connecting with people, blah, blah. No. The goal of Facebook is to make money. It's a business, right? And Facebook makes money by displaying ads. 99% of their revenue comes from paid ads. I'm also always like, well, where's the other 1% come from? I don't know how it's not 100%. But so that's their business model. Their business model is paid ads. So, and paid, I'm not against paid ads at all. That's really my specialty, is the paid ad side. So I definitely think that it is a powerful business builder, but their goal is to make money through ad display. And to make money through ad display, they need people to be on Facebook to show those ads too, right? So Facebook's goal to make money is heavily tied to their goal of keeping us all on Facebook as long as possible. So that is like that whole algorithms thing. So when we're thinking about the actions that we're taking, and what we're doing and how we're networking and how we're building know, like, and trust on social media, that always needs to be in the back of our mind of Facebook is just trying to keep us on Facebook because that's their business model. And so that's algorithm, right? The calculation, whatever the pieces are, always they're going to come out to, it's people feel like it's really hard to understand what they want us to do and what the rules are. No, the answer is always keep people on Facebook as long as possible, or Instagram, or LinkedIn. So with that, people stay on platforms that make them feel good. People stay on platforms where they feel engaged. And so when we're talking about building know, like, and trust, we're going to be talking about engaging, and that's just about being a nice human. So going into the neuroscience side of social media, when we get a notification, a couple of things happen, but we have to check it. It's like this neurological need. There's a red notification thing, and we need to go check it. The other thing is that when we get a comment or a like, something that is pleasing, it drops some dopamine and it makes us feel good, which makes us want to do that same thing more. It makes us want to be on that social media platform. Facebook's a drug dealer. They're just dropping the dopamine as much as possible to keep people on their platform as long as possible. So as long as you understand this whole, again, algorithm calculation, you understand that Facebook's a drug dealer, just dropping the dopamine to make you feel better by giving us likes and comments and things, you'll be fine. So when we're talking about being a nice human, one of the things that makes us feel good is if I comment on something, someone comments back. It would be super awkward if you walked in the coffee shop, sat down with your best friend, and your best friend was like, "Hey, I love that shirt," and you just looked at him. Right, we all just got super uncomfortable there. I just got super uncomfortable. It's just an uncomfortable thing, this silence. But we do that all the time on social media if you think about it. People comment and we don't comment back. Especially people will comment on a business post and you're not even going back and checking it. We want to be a nice human. Tone and response matter. We want to respond when people talk to us for 2 reasons. One, because it's a nice thing to do. Just like if you came up to me in person and told me you liked my hair today, it would be a nice human thing to do to interact back, right? And that builds that relationship together. But it also makes people feel good, right? And that, again, is that building that relationship. It gives them dopamine, so now they are associating you with this nice feeling. And so it's just about, again, building that know, like, and trust. One thing that, again, we know that the algorithm likes is keeping people on Facebook. If someone comments and you comment back with a question, we have a psychological need to close loops as humans, so they're probably going to come back and answer that question. So then, not only have you engaged with that person and built know, like, and trust because you're having a conversation, you've also signaled to Facebook that you can keep people on Facebook longer because now they're having a conversation with you, and conversation takes more time. So by commenting back, responding back when someone says something, you are, one, being a good human, and two, you're working with the algorithm. And even if it wasn't working with the algorithm, it's always a good thing when your worst case scenario is being a good human. That's just one of my go back to business principles, is just be a good human, right? So let's talk about how do we use that to our advantage. Because, again, social media is a tool to build know, like, and trust. Well, we're going to talk about the daily action steps. When we're posting on social media, and this is from our personal page, and someone comments, we need to be responding back to every single comment. Not giving it a like, not giving it a heart or a ha. You need to be commenting as much as is appropriate, commenting back on every single comment. And bonus points if you comment back with a question. But you want to show people that you're going to engage back and forth with them, okay? So on your personal Facebook page, you're going to reply to all comments, because that's just being a nice human. Then on your personal page, you're going to set a 10-minute timer, and this is how we keep social media from being a time suck, is with timers. You can just set one on your phone, and you're going to scroll, and you're going to comment on as many posts as possible. If you're following along on the action guide, this is where we're filling in all the blanks. So reply to all post comments, set a 10-minute timer, and comment on as many posts as possible. And this, again, is also where tone matters. Don't be a grouch, don't be a crank, because no one wants a realtor who is a grouch or a crank to help them buy a house, right? If I've got two realtors, and even if one has more experience and can say that they're a top dollar producer and all of the things, and there's someone else that I have engaging relationship with, I'm probably going to pick the engaging relationship one realtor that I actually like, right? So be positive. Our pastor said recently, he was about our tone and about how we say, be a hope machine. Just go be a hope machine and be a happiness machine, and just fake it till you make it if you're not happy on the inside, okay? But just make sure, don't, those millennials, blah, blah, blah. I see a lot of people who are, down on millennials, but you know what? I'm a millennial, and I also a year ago was a first-time home buyer, and I wasn't going to use a realtor that seemed to hate millennials. Right? So again, just think about what we're saying and think about how we're saying it. I use smiley face emojis a lot because social media has no vocal tone, has no facial cue. And so that helps people know that I'm not like fighting, right? So set a 10-minute timer, scroll and comment on as many posts as possible. Then you're going to set a 5-minute timer, and you're going to engage with as many stories as possible. Okay? When we get to Instagram, it's a little bit flipped, but Facebook is primarily about the feed and secondarily about the stories. So 10-minute timer, and just engage on as many posts as possible. When I say engage, I mean you need to be commenting. Somebody has a birthday, tell them happy birthday. Somebody posts a picture of their dog, your dog's so cute, or great day for a walk, or it doesn't matter. You're building relationship. You are building relationship, and you're going to actually find that you kind of like doing this. And then in 5 minutes, just engage on the stories. You can comment on the stories. You can leave a heart on the stories, whatever it is, but engage on the stories. And then you want to post, I say, at least 3 times a day. It can be about whatever. If you're not sure what to post, get yourself an inspirational quotes calendar and do that every day. And then post what you have for lunch, and then at the end of the day, talk about what you did that day. Okay? Talk about what you're watching on TV. It doesn't matter, but the more you post, the more people get to know you. And people are always like, nobody cares what I have to say. That's not true. We're all sitting there scrolling on social media, so clearly we care what other people have to say, even if it's something we think is stupid. We're still scrolling, okay? So do that. Second, on your business page, you need to reply to all post comments, okay? You need to daily be posting a picture or a video featuring you. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Take a selfie of you, in your car seat while you're parked with your seatbelt on, going to check out this house, going to a listing appointment, going to meet the inspector for this, or you guys do so much. And y'all are, as a group, realtors, y'all are not that great about telling people about anything besides the house that's for sale. You do so many things. That's why people think they can use apps to sell their homes without you. Is because if you're just posting links to houses, they can do that on their own. They're not understanding all of the legal and practical help that you give, right? And obviously you're not a lawyer, but you're helping them through one of the biggest legal transactions of their lives with these home purchases and home selling. Talk about what you're doing. If you are staging a house, post a picture of you inside the house that you're staging, okay? Post a picture of you and of your face, because people do business with people they know, like, and trust, okay? And then if you don't have any content scheduled, you got to post something, okay? Tomorrow we're going to talk about what to post and scheduling content, but just every day post something, okay? LinkedIn's a weird little beast, because here's the thing. You're going to do all these things, and you're going to get very few likes. You're going to get very few comments. And then once you do these actions consistently, people are going to start showing up in your messages. It's the weirdest thing. Facebook and Instagram are about engagement. LinkedIn is just about volume and just doing the same things over and over and over, and then people will eventually slide into your DMs there. So LinkedIn, same. Reply to all post comments. Set a 10-minute timer. Scroll and engage on as many posts as possible. That means comments. That doesn't mean like. Or LinkedIn, they have the little clappy or the little curious face, right? No. Comment. You're going to post at least 4 times a day on LinkedIn. Again, talk about all the things you do. Share articles, share information, share the latest housing report, share some listings. That's fine. Don't let that be the only thing that you're doing. And then also post a selfie picture or video. People need to see your face. Okay? The reason we don't post those things is because we are insecure about whatever. I doubt very many, if any of you watching this, have noticed my little baby hairs. You're going to notice them now because I'm pointing them out. They drive me nuts. They drive me nuts. But not a single one of you turned off this video because I have these little baby hairs that stick up. Okay? We are so mean to ourselves. This is where you get a little pep talk. I used to be a 6th grade teacher. And 6th graders are mean. If you don't know anything about 6th graders, you should know 6th graders are mean. And when I was teaching 6th grade, I used to pre-record all my lessons, kind of like I'm doing now. And the kids would watch those, because our school had the kids had their own netbooks. So the kids would be watching my video over here of me teaching, that I had pre-recorded, while over at this table I was working with this small group of kids that needed a little more help. And when the kids over here that were watching the video of me teaching the lesson and ridiculously singing about like limited and unlimited government to some pop song tune, and it was clearly awful, when one of them would forget their headphones, I could hear myself while I was at this table. I could hear myself teaching over there. And I hated it. Oh my gosh, it drove me nuts. It drove me nuts. But you know what? I was in education for 7.5 years. Never once did one of my kids make fun of my voice. Never once. I hated it. Never once did they make fun of me. And y'all, 6th graders are mean. And if a 6th grader was not mean enough to say something ugly to me about my video, then what right do I have to say ugly things to myself about my video? And that's what we do ourselves all the time. We don't take videos or we don't take pictures because we don't like the way we look, or we don't like the way our voice sounds, or our hair looks weird that day, or whatever. And all you're doing is making excuses for not building know, like, and trust. Because you're being meaner to yourself than a 6th grader. So stop it. Knock it off. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But you need to be posting a selfie or a face video or picture every single day. So that's LinkedIn. Instagram. Instagram is very similar to Facebook with a little bit of a twist. Instagram, you're going to reply to all post comments. We always do that, okay? Again, bonus points if you reply with a question, because people need to answer questions. It's just the psychological need that we have. When you go back up on your action guide on your Facebook page, on the Facebook, it said 10 minutes in the news feed. and commenting on posts and 5 minutes in stories. Instagram is flipped. Instagram is going to be 5 minutes commenting on as many posts as possible and 10 minutes in the stories. Instagram is a story platform. That's once Instagram bought Snapchat, Instagram just transformed into that story platform. You need to be engaging on the stories. That's where conversation happens. It's also way easier when you're engaging on stories to be in that DM messaging conversation, right? I freaking love Dolly Parton. I'm not even gonna lie. I think she's just an incredible human being. And you know what? If somebody puts Dolly Parton in their stories, I'm commenting back on their story. Oh my gosh, I love her. But you know, when you comment on a story, it goes in their messages, and then they're gonna message me back, and then we've made that messaging connection that later they can come back to, and it's not gonna be weird if they need to ask me something about my profession, just like it's not gonna be weird if they need to ask you something about real estate because they've already had a little bit of a conversation with you. Okay, that's how stories work. So it's really important on Instagram, 5 minutes scrolling through the feed and commenting as much as possible, but 10 minutes in the stories because Instagram is a story platform. Also, if you're going to be on Instagram, you need to set an alarm every 2 to 3 hours and you need to be documenting your day on stories. That's what stories are about. Stories are not about screenshotting your Facebook post and putting it in your stories. Stories are about being you and being real and going through your day. So take a selfie of you, again, when you're parked, like in your kids' carpool line. Share an inspirational quote from another page. One inspirational quote is okay. If all you're doing in your stories is sharing inspirational quotes and nobody's seeing your face, okay, you're not building no like and trust. If you have, a sporting event that you're going to for a kid or a spouse, or maybe you're in sports and somebody else takes like a boomerang picture of you swinging a baseball bat at your softball game, post that. That's the kind of things that people see in stories. Stories build know, like, and trust on Instagram more than anything else, okay? But the thing about stories is you don't want to save all that content and then post it all at the end of the day, because primarily, they're kind of tweaking it a little bit, but primarily, stories are posted chronologically. So if you post at 9, it's going to bump you up to the front of the storyline and when somebody's looking at their Instagram. And then if you post at 11, it's going to bump you up again to the front. And then you post at 3, and it's going to bump you up again at the front. So you have all of these opportunities to be at the front of the list. Whereas if you save all of your content and all you do is post it at 9 o'clock at night, you're only getting bumped up to the front of the list once. So stories need to be throughout the day. And there's, stickers, and it gets a little, some accounts have it and some accounts end up not having it, but there's sometimes a music button where you can put music. Again, that's where people find out that I'm a country music person. If you can't tell by the way I talk, I feel like that just even country music person just came out super Southern, which happens. But I'm, proud to be Southern. So, that's where you find out people's musical taste. You find out, you can put polls up there. Hey, put a picture of a house, and hey, if I was going to do an open house, is Saturday or Sunday better for you? Get people to vote. Put a picture of an amazing swimming pool from your listing, and, put the little slider thing on there. Hey, how excited would you be to spend your summer next to this pool? Have people slide it, right? Interact. There's all those kinds of stickers on there to help people interact. Do not on your stories ask people, what do you want me to talk about? Nobody's gonna answer that question. Ask them a poll. Would you rather hear about home buyer assistance programs or VA loans, right? Those are two similar things but different, right? Because obviously VA loans you're only going to be qualified for if you're in the military. But get people to vote, and then you know what people want to hear about, and then you tell them about it, right? It's a great way in marketing. That's called validating the offer. Before you actually do something, you see if people want it, okay? Because it would stink if you did all of this work on this whole series for restaurants and going through all these local restaurants if what your audience really wants to know is the best places to take your kids, right? So put that in a story. Would you rather hear about the best restaurants in town or the best places to hang out with your family? Get people to vote, and then you know what people want to see from you, and then you give it to them, and then they're going to want to watch it, right? So stories. And then in your in Instagram posts, you need to post at least twice a week. Stories are way more important on Instagram than they are on Facebook. So you kind of get off the hook. You don't have to post every day on Instagram, especially because it does have that requirement of having a graphic or a picture. Sometimes that can take more time. So at least twice a week, but you need to be in those stories every 2 to 3 hours if you're going to do Instagram, because stories is where it's at in Instagram. So that's your daily action list. Again, algorithms aren't scary if we know what the answer is. The answer is keep people on Facebook. We keep people stay on Facebook if they feel good on Facebook. People feel good on Facebook if they're getting notifications and likes and comments and shares. So if you give them likes and comments and shares, you're building know, like, and trust with that person, and you're also signaling to Facebook that they should show your content to more people because you are someone who helps them keep more people on Facebook. Or Instagram, or LinkedIn. I say Facebook because we know that that's our major social media player, but it really works the same way on all three of them. So that is your daily action guide. Starting today, you set a 10-minute and a 15-minute timer, depending on what action, if you're on your personal Facebook page, business Facebook page, LinkedIn, Instagram, but you set those 5 and 10-minute timers. You have that focused action so you can feel good about not chasing down a rabbit hole of cute cat videos. You did something with your time, and then you can put your phone down and go enjoy other parts of your day, because that's a really important thing too, and that's one of the reasons that I really believe in doing it this way. Is you do your time. If you really want to be active, you can do your time in the morning and your time in the evening, but then you can put your phone down and go get on to what's more important in life. So that's your daily action steps. I hope that's helpful. Again, make sure that you download the list below, because if you don't, you just missed all of the blanks I had you fill in, and you're not going to remember your daily action steps and what the different numbers are for different platforms. So go get to it. Have a great time. And like I said, you're really going to realize that you like this more than you think you did once you start having conversations with people. It's going to be fun. But yeah. Go sprinkle happiness. Go comment. Go share, and go do some good.